Today I bake, tomorrow I brew. The day after tomorrow I will get Farah's child. Oh, it's so good that nobody knows my name is Rhysy.
What the fuck?
You're listening to Getting Fae'd. We,
Meike,
Lukas,
and Lea have read A Court of Thorns and Roses for the very first time. And now we have watched some movies that we will talk about. So get Fae'd with us. Woo! As you might have heard, Lukas was a little bit ill.
hello, I'm a little bit sick. And I can't believe that this is the first time in the history of this podcast that I have to record a hello, my voice might sound a bit sore disclaimer. Because I tend to get sick so much, but I haven't been sick since we started the podcast. Not like audibly sick.
I mean not during a recording.
That's just the power of good scheduling.
Yeah. I mean, I've been sick like once, but not really in a losing my voice kind of way. But last week, it was tough. I tried to produce sounds that went a bit above my normal range and it didn't go well. But I set a new record because I got to the low E, an entire octave below the low E that I normally get, and it was great.
So even though Lukas's voice is a bit sore, I guess, you get the ASMR experience today.
Yes. So if I were to sing the Rhysand song, it would not go well. My sexy shadow day named Rhysand.
That hurt my throat just listening.
My band plays a gig in a week and I'm scared. Maybe I should just not sing till then.
Yes, please. Well, for those who have not just threw their phones away and kept listening.
For those of you who have Bluetooth headphones and you threw your phone away and the podcast is still going.
So while we were reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, mainly Meike, but I guess all of us, noticed a lot of similarities between that story and the fairy tale of Beauty and the Beast. And so we decided, well, let's watch that movie to see what is going on, maybe find some similarities, differences.
It was my first time also watching it.
And we also watched Beastly for some reason.
Because Alex Pettifer is my spirit animal.
What?
In that movie?
Obviously.
So for that unhingedness, stay tuned. But in 2 weeks, we will start talking about A Court of Mist and Fury.
So exciting.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
But before that, it's movie time. So in this movie, we get to know Belle, who lives in a little town with, I guess, small-minded people. And
The French, just the French.
Yes. And Belle wishes for just more from her life. And she lives with her father, whom she loves very much. Her father is an unsuccessful inventor, and one night he gets attacked by wolves in a forest. And he flees from those wolves into a castle. But that castle is inhabited by living furniture and a monstrous beast who captures Belle's father.
Yeah.
Oh, very dangerous.
I hate when that happens.
It's important to know that the beast once was a beautiful prince who turned away an old lady who was a witch. So naturally, she cursed this prince to become a beast. And the whole household with him. So he turned into a beast and the household turned into furniture and a cupboard and a little cup.
Very random.
Yeah. Choices were made, but at least they look funny. And Belle comes to rescue her father and trades places with him. And now she has to stay with the beast forever. Once the father gets home, he tries to rally the masses to fight the beast, but they do not believe him. And one of them is Gaston. Yeah, all the while, this movie is also a musical because it's a Disney animated
I already forgot.
feature.
Every time they started singing, I just jumped for a moment. That always happens when I watch musicals. While they talk, I just forget that it's a musical.
And this Gaston is a muscled hunter who has the personality of a sewer rat. And he wants to marry Belle because she is beautiful and that's why he has to marry her. But she had refused him in the beginning of the movie. And now he takes his chance to bring Belle's father into an insane asylum to force Belle to marry him. Solid plan, Gaston. You go. Sounds like the good foundations of a healthy marriage. And in the meantime, Belle and the Beast get to know each other and get to like each other. But when Belle hears that her father is in danger, the Beast lets her go so she can help her father. And in this moment, the Beast was selfless because the curse included that a girl has to fall in love with him before the last petal of an enchanted rose falls. And the time is almost up, but he lets her go anyways.
Damn.
Yeah.
Lynn.
We'll get to that.
Well, in the end, the people from the village trek to the castle, led by Gaston, to kill the Beast, and a battle ensues, and all the furniture fights the townspeople. And in the end, they win. The castle wins, but the Beast is mortally wounded. And in his dying moment, Belle confesses her love to him, and the furniture is turned back into people, and the beans have turned human. Yes, and the Beast has turned human too. And they live happily ever after. That's the plot of the movie.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. Did I miss anything important?
No.
Okay, so now that we're all caught up, my first question is, how did you like the movie?
Well, it was my first time. And that might be part of the reason why I didn't really like it. I thought it was very, very fast-paced, even more so than the end of ACOTAR. And it was just kind of a silly movie that didn't really have a lot going for it that I liked. And I think if I had watched this as a kid, then I would have a strong nostalgic connection to the movie. And then I would have liked it, because I have that with a lot of other movies. But I have happened to not have watched this movie. So it was just kind of fine, I guess.
I actually liked it. I watched it as a child, but I don't remember watching it. Like, I don't have a strong connection to it, I think. But I just think it's very funny. Like, especially the side characters are so enjoyable and so funny. And the Beast, I think we'll get to that a bit later, but he has such funny moments.
Yeah.
So I just thought, like, the whole character dynamics inside of this castle was very, very fun. And that made it just a silly, fun time. And it's only 19 minutes, so it's an easy, quick watch.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was fun and cute, but like nothing special in the end.
No.
Thinking about that it is a children's movie, I guess the messages in there are pretty good. It's good when people read. Go read, people, because Belle loves to read.
Farah could never.
I mean, yes, but it does have the Stockholm Syndrome going for it, this movie.
Yeah, now we're tracking already into my next question, I guess. So, where do we see some parallels between A Court of Thorns and Roses and Beauty and the Beast?
I was very surprised of how many parallels there actually are. Because in a lot of places it kind of feels like copy and paste. The curse itself is basically exactly the same. And also the whole Tamlin / the Beast let her go to help her or protect her just before the curse would be broken to prove that they are now selfless and whatnot. And that's pretty much the same.
Well, the difference there is that Tamlin goes like, oh no, I have to protect you, you have to leave. And the Beast is like, no, you should go help your father and, well, maybe not fight, but like stand against these evil townspeople.
Yeah.
And the Beast gives Belle a lot more agency than Tamlin gives Fae'd. Mm-hmm. There's also like an evil witch who spoke the curse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But here, I actually liked ACOTAR more in the way it did the curse, like narration-wise. Because in Beauty and the Beast, we just kind of get the entire curse exposition dumped at the beginning. And it's not like a mystery of what happened. We just know it going into the story.
Yeah, that's true. There are no surprises in the movie, really. Like, we know everything from every perspective.
In ACOTAR, it's at least trying to be a plot twist.
It's more of a mystery, yeah. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. The plot is not what's happening with this living furniture, but it's like, will she actually fall in love with him? Even though he is an evil beast, who is actually not that evil. I also think one more parallel is that there are innocent casualties. Like in Spring Court, like the whole court is cursed to wear the masks. And in Beauty and the Beast, like the whole castle gets... Like, what did the servants ever do?
Yeah, that's so mean.
There's a child that has been turned into a teacup and the teacup is broken. Like, is that child missing like a piece of his head when it's turning back? I think it's not, but like...
It should.
Yeah.
Also, there's a child that has been turned into a beast. Wasn't he like 11 or something when he talked shit to the rich?
Yeah, I think it says the curse ends when he's 21. And then it says it's been 10 years. So he must have been 11 when it happened. So what?
That's wild.
Why would you curse an 11-year-old? Of course he was a brat.
Mean. Yeah. But the question is like, so I guess the beast does age, but the furniture doesn't, because where does this child come from?
Yeah.
If they aged.
The teapot was busy.
I mean, she's a
Yes.
classy lady.
I mean, if she can just produce children in her teapot form, maybe they have the human spirit inside of them. So maybe my point being that little kid was never a human and was born as a teacup. And then turned human.
And then asks, do I still have to sleep in the cupboard? Yes, because you're Harry Potter. Plot twist of the century.
Harry T. Potter.
So let's dive into the characters. First of all, our main character, Belle, Feyre. The first parallel, their names mean pretty.
Yeah. You remember this fair discussion we had where we named her like Feyre Sizzling Hot Beauty?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I thought about Belle, I was like, oh my god, yes. Belle means beautiful. Of course she's called Feyre because she's so fair. That's so silly.
The thing is, Feyre is even like further away from an actual word that just means beauty. But I feel like Belle is the more beautiful name.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I guess Belle was already taken. Would have been wild if she was just named Belle. She could have been Bella. But the question is, was
Bella
Twilight?
was already taken.
Yeah.
She could have just been La.
La. La 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 long. But otherwise, I thought they actually do not have that much in common, except that Feyre also would like to have more from her life, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like Sarah J. Maas maybe even tried to make them different, especially beginning with the whole book thing, because like Belle's main character trait is that she likes to read and likes books, and Feyre cannot read and
True.
like even states she doesn't like the smell of books, which makes her very anti-book. So Sarah J. Maas was like, I'm taking Belle, but I'm not making her obviously Belle.
Yeah.
My character is a painter. But yeah, I think you're right. She wants more for herself, but she doesn't want to leave home. I think that's a big difference between those two, because Belle, she like runs around the town and is like, oh, I'm too excited for this small-minded little village. And Feyre is like, I just want to stay home with my dad.
That's the
For
thing.
whatever reason.
Like, Feyre doesn't actually like deeply love her family. I think she has love for her family, but not like in a, oh, I love to spend time with my family kind of way. And Belle actually does love her father very much. And maybe that explains why Feyre's dream is like, I want to live with my dad without my sisters.
She wants to have what Belle has.
Yeah. So then I made a connection / a question, because I put 3 characters here together in one.
Okay.
So this group is Amarantha, Gaston, and Feyre, ? Because Amarantha wants to force some semblance of love, which I guess Gaston also wants to do.
Yeah.
And they are both the villains, so
That I agree with.
there's the obvious connection. Are they the same character or similar characters? But then I was thinking, Gaston is a little bit what Amarantha says Feyre is. You know, he's like a ruthless hunter, incapable of love.
Wow, mind is blown.
So you're not putting Feyre there, but more Amarantha's perception of Feyre.
Yeah, I guess my thinking was like, okay, so a big part of Feyre is that she is a huntress. It is literally the sentence on the back of the cover. And like, Gaston is this heroic hunter. And that was my first connection where I was like, is there something there? And then I was like, maybe it's like what Amarantha accuses her of being.
Does ACOTAR have like a Gaston, like a hometown boy who's obsessed with Feyre?
I think for me, Gaston is split into two parts of himself. And one part is like this kind of silliness, where he's like the icky man, where you're like from afar already like, ugh, no, he's a red flag.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that went into Tamlin and his way, how he's so possessive sometimes and how he talks maybe even down to Feyre. And like we discussed it that we don't like Tamlin. And I think a lot of what we don't like about Tamlin is this a bit silly and icky side of Gaston. And then there's this actual side of Gaston that has like a very wrong view on love, where you think love can be forced and you can just take someone and make them yours, and that went into Amarantha. So I think both of the love interests, but Amarantha is not Feyre's love interest. So both of like two big characters from ACOTAR could be inspired by Gaston. But I like that ACOTAR doesn't have this cliche male dude. You know what I mean?
It's also nice that the story is just a little bit more complex than this children's movie.
Yes. And I think Gaston is he's made to be fun of, I think. Like, he's not really supposed to be scary. Maybe in the beginning, but then very quickly people are making fun of him and he has little accidents and like you're supposed to laugh about him because he's not right.
Yeah.
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 So then let's talk about Lumiere and maybe Cogsworth and Lucian, question mark?
Yeah.
Because they're both like trying to set up the Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious, I think.
But I mean, we've talked about this before, but I think it's so funny that they're both like with Lou, and like Lumiere is this, haha, I'm such a dandy. And
yeah, just like Lucian.
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Lucian is just a candlestick.
And they are both just likable.
Yes.
Yeah. But does Lucian also have parts of Cogsworth, or is Cogsworth just there for fun?
He's Alice.
I think the wardrobe is Alice.
Yeah, true, there was a wardrobe.
Because the wardrobe not only is a wardrobe, but also is caring, you know, and like a chambermaid. Not like every chambermaid, but like Alice as a chambermaid.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room. The Beast. #Tamlin.
Oh, you think that's supposed to be Tamlin?
Oh, wow.
Let me think about it. I don't know about
discuss.
that.
I think one of the most interesting differences between the Beast and Tamlin is that they both have a curse on them. And the curse both changed them in a way. But Tamlin is changed to have a mask, and the prince is changed into a beast. But Tamlin can also transform into a beast, but he's not forced to, like,
Be a beast.
he's not forced to be trapped inside of this beast form, so he can change out of it, but he still has it. I think that's an interesting idea that she had, and I don't really know why. But
I just had a theory. I don't think it necessarily has a reason plot-wise, and more that the Beast is actually quite sexy. And so maybe Sarah J. Maas was like, I just want him to be a beast, even when the curse is broken. But it's interesting that the curse in ACOTAR is like, oh, I guess I cannot be myself because the mask is magic. Like, his power is diminished.
yeah.
And in The Beauty and the Beast, the curse is, you are an animal now. We will show your rough and mean ways on your outside.
Yeah, I think Beauty and the Beast just wants to tell you, oh, love is not about looks. Love is about what's on the inside, and, you know, it counts how you develop characters and blah, blah, blah. And ACOTAR is not about that. Like,
Yeah, Tamlin still has a lot on the outside.
at no point does the story feel like, oh, she's falling in love with him, despite wearing a mask.
Yeah, there are just a few moments where she's like, I wonder what his eyebrows look like.
Yeah.
Does that make me shallow? And then she admires his pretty body again.
Yeah, she's not falling in love with him, even though there is the curse. Like, the curse isn't in between their love.
Yeah.
Not really. Like, he cannot be honest with her, and he has this secret, and his time is running out, but it's not the curse that's preventing them from being together. And in Beauty and the Beast, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Because he's a beast, he's like this evil and aggressive and also not, I guess, very nice to look at, because he's not a human, he's a
But he's
beast.
cute.
He's so cute.
He's very cute. The Beast is like the most lovable character in this. Every scene in which he's not next to Belle, but alone and plotting with his court, it's he's so funny and he's so dopey and I just love him. And
He's just adorable.
Yes.
Like, there are some similarities between the Beast and Tamlin because they both have anger issues.
Yeah.
Yes. They both trash a room at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Beast does it in a cute way.
That's the thing. Like, they both kind of make an effort to be kind to the beauty, to, like, get them to fall in love. But the Beast is actually kind and, like, tries to do better. With Tamlin, Lucian was like, basically go make her a compliment or something. And with the Beast, it was like, you will come to dinner this instant. And then they're like, maybe invite her. Okay, will you come to dinner? And we get a lot more of his perspective. And he's just a cute little guy.
Yeah, I think this is mainly where like the first person problem comes into play, because maybe we could have had those moments where Lucian was like, Tamlin, you cannot just force her to do something, like maybe clean out the gallery and give her art supplies. And then Tamlin's like, huh, why would she like that? And Lucian's like, bro, just think for a second. And that would be funny and nice, but we don't get that. Because we always follow Feyre, we don't see anything that is happening outside of her perspective.
We do get to know the Beast a lot with his scenes that he just has with his court. And if we had those scenes, even if Tamlin wouldn't have been a derpy, like if he were like the Beast, he would be like, oh, okay, I guess I'll give her some art supplies. I didn't know that would make her happy.
Derpy Tamlin would be a little cursed, to be honest.
I think I would love him.
Yeah, but I think partly that's also because the curse for the Beast made sense in a way. Like, I mean, he was 11. We're not going to talk about that, but he was not behaving very nicely. So he was cursed. And then through the curse, he was supposed to learn and, you know, grow as a character and as a person.
Yeah.
And he
Reasonable.
did. And he did. Like, that's what made him fun.
True.
Because he did grow.
Yeah.
But Tamlin, let's be honest, he has many reasons to grow, but the curse doesn't tell him that. Like,
No.
he needs therapy. But Amarantha wasn't like, oh, here, you're cursed now, so you need to work on your anger issues and whatnot. She was like, you don't want to love me? There, I'm going to curse you. Puh.
Yeah.
Like, the curse didn't make any sense for Tamlin, so there was no reason for Tamlin to do anything with it.
And I don't think he did a lot of growing
No.
in the last book.
Only his fangs and claws.
And other parts. Maybe he will get some great character development in the next book.
That brings me to my next question. Like, where this book ended doesn't necessarily feel like where Beauty and the Beast ends.
No.
So, what could that mean for future books? One point we already talked about. Maybe some character growth for Tamlin. But I had a theory, and I would like to tell you my theory. So I was thinking, the whole thing of the townspeople getting together and trekking to the castle and attacking the castle didn't, like, get picked up at all in ACOTAR. So I was thinking, maybe there will be, like, an uprising in the mortal realm. Maybe they will march on the fairyland. And maybe, like, they will be led by Thomas Mandray. I still think he has a part to play. He has been mentioned too much.
You think Thomas Mandray is Gusteau?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like not
fits.
in the obsession with Feyre part, but he might become a similar character.
And we heard that he is an evil hunter. Because Feyre has encountered him while he
True.
was hunting, and she was like, oh, he was so dangerous, he
Yeah.
had murder in his eyes.
And he has cronies.
Right.
That's always an evil sign.
Why would he have cronies if he wasn't going to be important? Come on. Also, I cast him in the fan casting episode, so obviously he's going to be a big part of the upcoming TV show at some point.
That was cancelled. Did you see that?
No.
There
what?
was.
I didn't even know that it was a thing.
I think someone got the rights like ages ago, and then they now dropped it. It was like
So
official
they're
that they're not
free?
gonna do it.
They are purchasable?
Yeah, go ahead.
Does someone
Make
want to
your
give me
offer.
some money?
That would
We already have a
honestly-
cast list.
honestly be the dream. Us three being the showrunners of an ACOTAR show. That would be so great.
Yeah.
We would make it great. We would make it awesome. Who did you cast again as Thomas Mandray?
Will Poulter.
Oh, I would like to see him in an uprising. So that was my take on what might this mean for this book series? Do you have any takes like that?
Not a direct take on any of the characters, but I wondered if maybe the other books will be other retellings. She only used like the base construct of the story. Like I wouldn't say ACOTAR is an adaptation of Beauty and the Beast. It's just more like it was inspired by Beauty and the Beast. Like she took Belle's story and transformed it and then set it into this Fae world that she built that is obviously much bigger than we have yet encountered. So maybe the next book will be, I don't know, Ratatouille or something.
The famous fairy tale Ratatouille.
I was gonna say it's probably gonna be Shrek.
Wow.
Because
Maybe.
at least that's a fairy tale.
Maybe it's gonna be like Rapunzel. Maybe she will be held in night court, and then she will have to be rescued. I don't want that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
what fairy tales are there?
I don't know, like Snow White, Cinderella.
Oh, we already had Cinderella in the last book.
Yeah,
Because she
but
had
only-
to clean out the fireplace
Maybe,
in
right.
one task.
Just a little teaser. What was it? Sleeping Beauty? Pinocchio? There might be there are wood people.
I mean, Sleeping Beauty. Something happened to Rhysand. Maybe he was cursed.
And
And
then
they have to go rescue Rhysand.
she has to save him with true love's kiss again.
Awesome.
Nice. Every book is just gonna be someone is cursed and can only be freed by the love of Feyre. That's her entire thing.
That's how she gathers her polycule.
That would be such a
That's
funny
how she gathered
concept.
herpes.
Yeah, but I think Beauty and the Beast was about love, like just the concept of true love. And ACOTAR is more about Feyre gaining growth and like Feyre changing. Like now Feyre is Fae. Wow.
Feyre.
You're a Fae, Feyre. So it's more about finding herself. And in her case, maybe even losing herself. Because we know she's going through something, probably, now. So, yeah, I don't know. This feels like it's setting up just the next step in Feyre's story. And Beauty and the Beast is not Belle's story. It's like a romance.
Yeah.
And ACOTAR is maybe more Feyre's story. And now the next book will continue on her path and lead her, I don't know, somewhere.
To glory and vengeance.
Yeah, I cannot think of any fairy tale that takes place in an already established relationship. You know, like I don't really see a fairy tale that is, Mulan 2. It involves a wedding. You remember we saw the wedding ring on the cover?
Oh, right.
Maybe ACOMAF is inspired by Mulan 2, which is an atrocious movie.
But Mulan 2 is not a fairy tale.
It is!
Okay.
I was just thinking, I don't know what the fairy tale is called, but where there are like these sisters and they go into a house and someone turns into a bear. But I don't remember who and what and why.
That's Brother Bear by Disney.
My fairy tale is probably from Brothers Grimm, but I'm not sure.
Maybe she will go to Winter Court and it will be Frau Holle.
What is that in English? Mrs. Holle?
I don't know if that's a thing in
Holly.
English. So Frau Holle, in case you don't know, what does she do? Does she like shake
She
out her
cleans out the-
pillows and that's what makes it snow?
Yep.
Yeah, so there's again a daughter who has stepsisters and she has an evil stepmother and she has to do all the chores. I guess she gets blood on her wool or
Yeah.
something and then she wants to wash it in the well and then she falls into the well and comes into
Well.
a magical land. And then there is like an apple tree and the apples scream, shake me so that we can fall down. And she does that. Then there's like an oven and it says, no, there's bread inside.
Yeah.
And the bread says, take us out. And she does that. And then she gets to the house of Frau Holle, Mrs. Holle.
And she does the weather, right?
Yeah. And like she is basically working as a maid for Mrs. Holle and shaking out her pillows. And that's what makes it snow. And then she gets rewarded with what? Gold.
Yeah, I
Is she
think
showered
gets,
with gold?
Yeah, I think she goes under this arch
Yeah, that's how
and it
she
rains
gets home.
gold on her, and then she goes home and it's
Yeah.
all golden. And then her sisters want to go, or at least one of them goes, and she doesn't do any of these kind acts. Like she doesn't shake the apple tree and she doesn't take out the she doesn't take out the bread, and then she hates working there, and then Frau Holle sends her home, and then standing under the arch, she's like, oh, now it's gonna rain gold, and it rains.
Pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then-
honestly, that's Nesta's story. Because she doesn't want to do the chores.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I don't think the moral of that story is be kind. I think the moral of that story is do your chores.
Probably.
I don't know. This was German fairy tale corner with getting Fae'd.
Well,
I liked that
fits.
one as a child.
Yeah, I guess I liked it too. Although I didn't really remember anything.
Yeah, I liked Mrs. Holle too. Good fairy tale.
Is she married? Why do we call her Mrs. Holle?
I don't know, because she seems like a grandma.
Because all grandmas are married.
No, maybe she's just Miss Holle. There's no man in the picture of this fairy tale. No men allowed.
She might be Mrs. Holle without any man.
I guess because she seems to me like a bit like Mrs. Claus. But obviously Mrs. Claus is married to Santa Claus, who is a saint and obviously has a wife. And that's why he's not called Mr. Claus, but Santa Claus.
What?
Moving on. Do we have anything more to add to the Beauty and the Beast fairy tale ACOTAR comparison?
I don't know, maybe it's gonna be Rumpelstiltskin.
That would be so... Is Rhysand Rumpelstiltskin?
Oh my god, is he gonna steal her child? Is she gonna get pregnant and then he's gonna steal her child?
I
Yes.
thought you were going to say, oh my god, is he going to dance around a fire?
Maybe.
He already did at Fire Night.
True. What does Rumpelstiltskin say? Today I bake, tomorrow I brew. Oh, it's so good that nobody knows that I'm called Rumpelstiltskin. That's what he says in German. Which sounds, heute back ich, morgen brauche ich. Oh no, he
Übermorgen klaue
says...
ich der Königin ihr Kind.
Oh, I forgot the most important part where he says, today I bake, tomorrow I brew. No, what?
Heute backe ich, morgen brauche ich, übermorgen klaue ich der Königin ihr Kind. Ach, wie gut, dass niemand weiß, dass ich Rumpelstiltskin heißt.
So
So-
that's today I bake.
Tomorrow I brew, the day after tomorrow.
I steal the queen's child.
Oh, how
it's
good.
a good thing that no one knows that my name is... What is it called?
Rumpelstiltskin.
Is that a thing?
Yes!
I mean, at least in the great TV series Once Upon a Time, he's called Rumpelstiltskin, where he is also the crocodile of Peter Pan.
What?
Yes, this
What?
TV show. We should do some episodes about that TV show because that TV show is unhinged and amazing, and Captain Hook is the most sexiest man in the world in that TV show.
So maybe Rhysand is going to be Captain Hook.
Rumpelstiltskin in that TV show is also the Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Why?
Because he's an evil sorcerer who has scales for skin.
But why is he everything?
He can also spin gold.
Is he also Frau Holle?
I'm not sure.
Is he also the donkey that shits gold?
No, but he's the one who can spin gold.
Isn't what's the girl from Rumpelstiltskin?
In the series or in...
No, the princess in the she's put in this room and there's straw.
Yeah.
And then they give her this spinning wheel and she's supposed to turn straw into gold.
But
and she
why?
Cannot. I don't know.
I
And she
think I
cannot.
spider.
And then Rumpelstiltskin comes
the one who
and
gives
he's like,
her-
"Oh, I can turn this into gold for you, but I will require payment."
Who put her in this room in the
I
first
think
place?
the king. I don't.
because then she gets to marry the prince, probably.
Right, and they have a child, and then Rumpelstiltskin comes.
So it's like a demon deal in Supernatural, where they're like, make a deal with me, and then in 10 years I will collect.
How did we get here?
Because Rhysand is Rumpelstiltskin, the name fits.
I don't know.
And so Rhysand will be singing, today I bake, tomorrow I brew, the day after tomorrow I will get Pharaoh's child. Oh, it's so good that nobody knows my name is Rhysy.
What the fuck?
Well, to continue this unhingedness, let's talk about the greatest movie in the world, Beastly.
Arguably, the movie I enjoyed more out of these two.
How?
I like Alex Pettyfer, okay?
What happened to Alex Pettyfer? He was like in every Dreamcast for Jace from the Mortal Instruments in the year 2010 to 2014, I don't know, whenever the books came out. And then he vanished. He was in like 2 movies, Beastly, and I'm number 4.
Yeah.
And now he's gone.
And he
What
was
happened to that man?
25 and played high schoolers, and he was great. Also, I didn't do my research. If Alex Pettyfer happens to be problematic, I'm sorry, I don't know. But if he's not, he's great.
Maybe that's why he hasn't been cast in any roles.
Yeah, I was just, maybe he just had like severe scandals, and I don't know that.
I have to say I did not enjoy him in this movie. I did not enjoy this movie at all. But let's talk about the movie. The movie is an adaptation of the fairy tale, but it's basically a high school AU.
It's an adaptation of a book, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is an adaptation of the fairy tale.
Yes.
I didn't know it was an adaptation of... Oh, no, I think I've seen the cover. Have you read the book?
I have not read the book. I think I thought about reading the book after I watched the movie for the very first time. But then I didn't because the movie is so unhinged.
That movie is so bad.
Also, disclaimer, I also think it's bad. But
Okay.
it's just the right bad. It's so bad in such an enjoyable way.
Honestly, the description on the backside cover telling the story of the book is so funny. I am a beast. A beast. Not quite wolf or bear, gorilla or dog, but a horrible new creature who walks upright, a creature with fangs and claws and hair springing from every pore. I am a monster. You think I'm talking fairy tales? No way. The place is New York City. The time is now. It's not deformity, no disease, and I'll stay this way forever, ruined, unless I can break the spell. Yes, the spell, the one the witch in my English class cast on me. Why did she turn me into a beast who hides by day and prowls by night? I'll tell you. I'll tell you how I used to be Kyle Kingsbury, the guy you wished you were, with money, perfect looks, and the perfect life. And then I'll tell you how I became perfectly beastly.
Ooh. So
Well,
wait a minute.
That's not how the beast looks in the movie.
No.
Yeah, he does not have hair. I mean, he specifically does not have any hair left on his body, right?
Yes.
He goes like bald and doesn't have eyebrows, and also he just has tattoos and scars.
And like open wounds.
Yeah, and metal bits.
Ugh.
And the tattoos are something.
What's it with tattoos, though? Like, in this adaptation, they used tattoos for the
Evil.
beast, and then Sarah J. Maas used a tattoo as a sign for the bargain.
Okay, here's my theory. Sarah J. Maas has never read or seen Beauty and the Beast, and she was just inspired by Beastly.
Honestly, I think we had this thought several times when we watched the movie. But let's start at the beginning. Kyle, the main character, is mean and vain, and one day he sets up an, I guess, ugly girl who's not really that ugly.
She's one of the Olsen twins, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she
The
kind
twins
of,
that are known for being ugly. You know?
she's like, I guess she dresses a bit odd.
Like a witch.
Yeah. But he sets her up for humiliation, and then she makes him ugly as a revenge thing. And it's all this thing with the curse, and you have 1 year to find love or whatever.
Yeah, and when he's still beautiful, like the thing of this movie is that the people who made this movie have never heard of subtext. Like the first scene of this movie, he's trying to be elected as a school something spokesperson or whatever, and he's just like, I'm hot. That's why you should vote for me. And that's basically it. He just
What does he
outright
say?
says.
Embrace?
Embrace the suck. That is the motto of this movie. Which then, when he is the beast, tattooed in pseudo-Arabic instead of his eyebrows. I don't know if they are like real Arabic characters that just look like Latin characters, or if they just kind of emulated Arabic characters.
But why?
Because it's evil and ugly.
This movie has no connection to Arabic culture.
Yes.
Okay.
It's also not Arabic. It's English. It says embrace the suck. And, you know, Kyle's father is a cliche businessman. And when he finds his uglified son, he dismisses him and puts him in some penthouse across the river. And this basic-looking man going like, oh no, my son is now ugly. I cannot stand to spend time with him anymore. It's like, what? The stupidest and funniest thing ever. Like, this father is not like, I don't know, Brad Pitt or something. He's just
A dude.
some dude who's like, oh, you are ugly now. No.
But he has a public image, okay? He is the Kingston guy. Is he called Kingston?
Yeah, maybe.
I think
I don't
so.
know. He's like a reporter on TV. I don't know.
And
He's the
he's
weatherman. I don't know.
And if someone were to find out that his son
Was ugly.
has been uglified, that would not be good.
Well, the thing is, I know I'm just finding excuses for him right now which is like out of character for me in the way I feel about this man. But like, if his son was just ugly, then like he would be just ugly. But he has tattoos now and scars, so that means he has become a gangster and on the wrong side of society, because those are the signs, and that would maybe ruin his reputation, which of course makes this man completely reasonable now.
Dad of the year.
I don't know. Can we talk about Vihaj now?
Well, in a moment. Oh no, that's the next thing I want to talk, because
Yay!
of course there's the very important love story with Linda, which is beautiful in Spanish.
Oh yeah, right.
So she's the beauty.
And she's played by Vanessa Hudgens.
Yes. And Kyle kind of kidnaps her for her protection.
Yeah, it's not like kidnap. It's. I think the movie was trying to make it not bad, but it failed.
Yeah. Like he threatened her dad. He was like, I'm gonna find you and I'm a powerful son of a powerful man if you don't send your daughter my way.
What happened? I'm trying to remember.
So-
I think the dad was like involved with some
Drugs.
drug people, cartel shenanigans.
And then he killed one of them.
Yeah.
When
The
they
dad.
attacked him, yes.
And then Alex Pettyfer just happened to accidentally see that, right?
No, he was stalking the girl. And Linda was going to her father because her father was in trouble. And that's why he...
Yeah, he
And
did a
now
lot
he
of
fears
stalking.
that the evil people will hurt her to hurt her dad.
And the thing is, why he was stalking her is because they knew each other from school. And I guess when he was beautiful, he was too good for her or something. And now he kind of likes her. Now he's obsessed with her for reasons. And yeah, he doesn't have any hair left and he has these scars and tattoos, but like his face hasn't changed. But she doesn't recognize him. And he also, for the whole time, does not tell her that they already know each other. He does not tell her who he is.
What's his fake name?
I don't know.
I forgot.
Bobby.
Something with H.
I don't remember.
Hunter.
Hunter.
Kyle is a hunter.
Vihaj feels so out of place in this movie. I don't know. She doesn't fit this movie, but to be honest, she feels more like Fae'd than she feels like Belle. So
Yeah.
once again, I can see this whole, Sarah J. Maas only watched Beastly and was like, I'm going to write a book about that.
I mean,
Because she's also just obsessed with this one thing because she wants to go to Machu Picchu.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
does she have
Just like
any
Farrah.
other... Oh, and she likes this sweet thing. She likes those sweets.
Oh, yeah, some sweets.
I don't know.
And he has stalked her and then he gifts her these sweets.
Yeah.
And it's like
Oh, sweet.
very creepy. But
Very sweepy.
But like a whole package of it.
the thing is, Linda and Fae'd, they both live like in a precarious family situation and they get kind of against their will, but also not like wholly removed from that by the beast. So definitely a lot more similarities.
Yeah. I love Vanessa Hudgens.
You do.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, she's awesome. Yeah,
I like-
she is.
I've only seen her in High School Musical and Princess Switch 1, 2, and 3. Also, by the way, film recommendation, Princess Switch 3.
Amazing movie.
It's such a
Perfection.
great movie.
But only the third one.
Yeah. But I think the reward is better when you watch 1 and 2 first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Just watch these movies. And I just have a sweet spot for Vanessa Hudgens. Is she problematic? I don't know. If so, I don't like her anymore.
Well, there's also Neil Patrick Harris in this movie.
Right, I forgot. Oh my god.
Yes.
Who plays
Daredevil.
Kyle's blind tutor? Who is blind, so he's not appalled by this ugly man. Who never teaches him anything and is just kind of his buddy. Yeah, he's just his bro. But he's hired as his tutor. And there's also the maid who he was mean to in the beginning, and then she's in his flat to care for him. And for some reason in the curse lifting, there's also included that Neil Patrick Harris's character will get his sight back, and I don't know, the woman gets a green card
Yeah,
or
I
something.
think she gets a green card.
Or her family is allowed. I think her family gets passports and they can come to her.
Yeah.
But they are just Lumiere and the Wardrobe, right?
Okay, they are also the visually impaired funny guy,
Who is the wingman?
Lucian, and the nice maid,
Yes.
Alice.
Yeah.
Lumiere is not visually impaired, so seems like she watched this movie rather than the other one. Yeah, and then in the end, she breaks the curse and is obviously not mad at all that he lied to her the whole time.
But before that, we also get the selfless scene that was just so random because she like goes on like a school trip to Machu Picchu, you know, as normal high schools tend to do. And then I don't even remember. I think he has that moment where he like chooses to let her go on this trip right before the time runs out.
Yeah, I don't really remember the reasons what was happening. Like
doesn't matter.
he followed her there and then
Not to Machu Picchu, but to like the airport.
to like I think to the school, and like everyone was looking at him, and then he didn't reveal himself to her, and I don't know, the I love you sentence did not happen, and then he leaves. But then she runs after him, or does he? I don't know.
She chooses to not go to Machu Picchu, to go after this great hunter guy.
But he changes back into himself.
Yeah.
Right? After, like before she changes her mind. Like they kiss and say goodbye, and then he leaves, and then he changes back into himself, and then she runs out and is like, Hunter, where are you? Where are you? And then she asks Kyle, have you seen Hunter? And then she calls Hunter, and it goes to Kyle's phone, and she's like, oh my God, like, girl.
That was such a dumb scene, and I loved it so much.
And then she was not mad. I want to iterate this again. How is she not mad in this moment?
Because he's rich, and that means she can go to Machu Picchu with him now.
I guess. That's the movie.
Oh, also what I just noticed, the first time they bond, he builds her a greenhouse. So it's always like springy where they live.
True.
Also, what is it with greenhouses? I feel like around the 2010s, every fantasy YA book had a greenhouse scene where someone made out.
I think they're just kind of special because you can have an urban area and then have a jungle scene. And also, like, I feel like the opaque windows with the exotic plants give quite an interesting atmosphere.
Yeah. Also, just as a side note, but just to put an emphasis on how great this movie experience was, there's this one scene where Kyle deletes his Facebook account.
Oh my God!
And then it asks him, like, a reason why he deletes this. And then he just types in, I am no more. And that was peak cinema.
Everyone in this movie is so god-fucking-damn-it edgy.
But, like,
It's so funny.
didn't he have, like, really unhinged shit on his page?
Yes.
He was like, I think it was like interests, anything bangable. And then what I don't like, it was something like...
Fat people.
Yeah.
Speaking of subtext.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add? This movie really left me empty.
It's interesting that both adaptions, Beastly and ACOTAR, took this very wholesome dad from Beauty and the Beast, who is just a lovable dude who likes to invent shit, and made him into a pathetic sort of loser.
Yeah. Father figures just holding you back.
Do we have any insight on whether the fairy tale has this likable father?
I think in the original he's a merchant and she has sisters, which is more likely to ACOTAR.
Yeah.
Lucas had a very funny theory because
I did?
the original is from France and it's from the 700 somethings. And also around the 700 somethings, like one of the original tales of the werewolf happened. And he was like, is the werewolf the beast? Like, is Beauty and the Beast the origin story of the werewolf?
I didn't just have the theory out of nowhere. Because we watched Teen Wolf. Slight spoilers, but not really. At one point they like fight the original werewolf, and they just keep calling it the
La
Beast or La Bête de
Gévaudan or something? It's like a place in
And for
French.
some reason, I just thought, the Beast, La Bête, French. It has to be the Beauty and the Beast fairy tale. Also because I didn't really know the Beauty and the Beast story. Like, for this entire season where they fought this thing, I thought, that's funny. They find the inspiration for Tamlin. How random.
I think the original is called like La Belle et la Bête.
Yeah.
But I think that's a funny idea, to think that the Beast is the OG werewolf.
Would be interesting if there were some actual werewolves in ACOTAR, or the world of ACOTAR.
Right, we haven't met
Maybe.
any other fairy tale-ish creatures.
I mean, maybe in like... It feels like Night Court could be a good place for werewolves who might need the moon for powers. Moon powers! Pew pew! So yeah, those were some interesting movies. Some fun movies. I think we had a fun time.
we had a very
watching
fun
them.
movie night, yes.
Yeah.
Also, we have some great context added to ACOTAR. At least me, because I didn't know that story. Anyways, I like Alex Pettifer.
Yeah, I have to say he did not win me over.
I actually thought of Alex Pettifer as my dream Tamlin casting.
How old is he now?
I think too old. I think
I think too.
too old. I think he was like 25 when he was all this. Or was he just 20?
I don't know.
I guess he's in his 30s. Maybe he's not too old.
Maybe late 30s.
I mean,
I'm sorry, Alex Pettifer, if you're listening to this podcast.
that would be great. Reach out to us. Talk with us about Beastly.
But if you're truly problematic, fuck off.
He is going to write us, yes, I enjoyed your episodes, but I am problematic.
But that was a good ending to our ACOTAR journey.
Experience.
I'm very ready to move on.
Yes.
I'm very ready to maybe leave Beauty and the Beast behind.
That would be fun. But I have to say, if there should come a mortal uprising,
Yes, I would
whatever,
love that.
would be cool and interesting.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
No shade to inspiration from fairy tales and stuff. It was fun, but it also made us just pretty precisely guess the plot of this book halfway through. So it would be nice to maybe be more surprised or get more credit for our great predictions in book 2.
Just a last funny side note, my dad, who has already read ACOTAR just recently, he texted me when he finished the book and he was like, the last part of it, all of it felt so much like Beauty and the Beast. And then he was like, in all caps, are you even allowed to do that? And I just thought it was so funny.
Very funny, but why is your dad British?
Because he's classy.
Okay. Frank.
In British, wouldn't it be Frank?
Frank.
Frank. How do you say Frank in British?
Frank.
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 I don't know.
I will pay in
But
francs.
I think your dad is both French and British.
Okay.
that he is the Antichrist. He is the chosen one. He has combined the enemies of mortal times. He will bring peace on earth and unite the kingdoms of old. Is he Arthur Pendragon? Are you
Yes.
Merlin?
Yes.
He's obviously the first person ever to be half British and half French.
The law of this podcast thickens.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to start Akumath
Yes.
in 2 weeks.
And if you do not want to miss us talking about that hopefully wonderful book,
I've heard it's better than the first one.
yes,
That makes me excited.
Exciting.
Also, I hope V. Hutch is in it.
in the book,
Yes, just Vanessa Hudgens as a
you
character.
could just picture Vanessa Hudgens as Feyre.
I already do. I picture Vanessa Hudgens as everyone.
Watch Princess Switch 3.
The scene, spoilers for
You
Princess Switch
cannot
3.
spoiler that. That will take all the joy out of it.
Okay,
Watch Princess Switch 3. That should be the learning of this movie and all of this episode. Also of these movies. And if you want to hear us talking about A Court of Mist and Fury,
I'm so excited.
then tune us in.
Also, if you can't wait for our Akumath era, you can head on over to Instagram and watch some highlights of the ACOTAR era and outtakes. And my voice, just like Alex Pettifer, is no more.
I hope you're able to cut out all of your coughs, or this will be a very unpleasant
I
episode.
think I can do it.
Ehu.
But I will nurse him to health for the next episode, so
Yeah.
don't fear.
Don't fret, my friends. And if you want to hear Lukas speaking normal again, tune in next time when we are
Getting Fae'd!